everybody, it's the Warhipster here coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are back. It is 2025 and we are painting the new Hobgrot Slittaboss that Games Workshop have very kindly sent to me early to build up and paint with all of you, and I'm excited because I quite like him, and well, it's nice to have a Hobgrot character. Now this is also going to be a nice way to start off the year because we're basically revisiting an old recipe, and I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see if we can just update this slightly. But massive thank you to them, and this one has been primed in grey Seer, and the colour we're going to be using first is a roughly 2 parts Snakebite Leather to 1 part Nazdreg Yellow mix, and we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the Hobgrot skin because some things never change and yet some things do, so we'll have to see. I'm not 100% sure if anything indeed will change, so if you've already used my video to paint Hobgrots, you might already know everything that's going to happen, but if this is your first time, welcome. So with all of that applied to all the skin, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Blood Angels Red, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our ropes in the bottom half of him. We've got a couple of ropes at the top part, but we're not going to be applying this over the top of those. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over the top of his pants and his eye patch. With that Black Legion all applied, I actually applied it over the top of the Slittaboss's teeth as well, but what we're going to do next is we're going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of the remaining strapping, such as this bit around the neck. There is also a belt and things like that. So we're just going to get this over the top of all of that stuff. But we're not going to apply this over the top of his 2 pouches. So with all that Gore-Grunta Fur applied, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of the pouches. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some Black Templar. And we're going to use this over the top of the 2 hairstyles up here on the corpses, well 3 hairstyles. But what we're also going to do with the Black Templar is we're going to use this to colour in the toenails and fingernails of the Slittaboss. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Guilliman Flesh. We're going to apply this over the top of all of our grizzly trophies up the top here. However, don't worry, I'm going to give them some different colours once that's fully dry. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Militarum Green, now that they're fully dry. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over top of this head and the severed hand. And with that Militarum Green applied, we're then going to take some Magos Purple. And we're going to apply this over the top of this head. So with that all done, our next port of call is to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over top of this skull. And so with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to use this over the top of all of our remaining details, excluding the goo. So with all of that Iron Warriors applied, we're then going to once again take some Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over the top of some of these areas of the silver to create some variation. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of this piece of the blade. Like so. Just like that. We're going to apply this over the top of the chest and the leg plates. And we're going to apply this over top of the handle. And so with all of that Black Templar applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass. And we're going to use this over the top of some of the more decorative bits, if you can call it that. So we're going to be applying this over the top of the cross guard there, and over the top of the pommel of the blade, like so. We're going to be applying it over the top of all of these sort of rivety bits here, like that sort of thing. And we're also going to apply it over the top of, I guess these are more cross guards up here. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Volupus Pink. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the goop. Now, don't worry if you overlap onto the blade a little bit. If anything, that's exactly what we want to do. Just a little tiny bit onto the sword blade. Just like that. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to use this to shade all of our silver and our blackened silver as well. And with all that Nuln Oil applied, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to use this over the top of the Runelord Brass. So with that all done, our Hobgrot Slittaboss is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty good. However, we're not going to leave him there, of course not. We're going to take him to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Hobgrot Hide, because it would be rude not to. I'm going to use this to highlight all the skin. So with all that Hobgrot Hide applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Morghast Bone. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to all that skin, including picking out things like all the scars and the sharpest points in the face and around the muscles and stuff like that. All done. What we're now going to do is take some thinned down Dawnstone. We're going to use this to highlight the trousers, the eye patch and the teeth. So with that Dawnstone all applied, we then want to take a very tiny amount of Administratum Grey. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights just to the teeth and the eye patch. What we can also do here with the Administratum is we can use this to add some little highlights to the hair on these grisly trophies. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Fulgrim Pink. I'm going to use this to just pick out the little kind of drips in all the goop. So with that all done, we're now going to take a tiny amount of Evil Sunz Scarlet. I'm going to use this to pick out the eye. Still sticking with eyes for the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to pick out any teeth and eyeballs in our grisly trophies back here. So with that all done, we'll come back to the heads in a little bit, but what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. We're going to use this to highlight all of the silver and all of our black and silver as well. So with that Ironbreaker all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Canoptek Alloy, and we're going to use this to highlight the brass. And so with that all done, we can now finish off our Hobgrot Slittaboss by taking some blood for the blood god. And we can apply this kind of anywhere you really want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some of this just along the blade's edge down here. And a little bit in the poison goop as well. Like that. And up on our heads, I'm also going to apply some around like the eyes. Mouths and things like that. So with that all done, the Slittaboss is now finished. So what we're going to do is very quickly work on the base. And we're going to start by taking some Wyldwood, and we're going to apply this over the top of the fallen tree trunk. Just down here. Like so. With all that Wyldwood applied, we're then going to take some skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over the top of these. Well, they're not vines, but over the top of these things. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some black Templar, and we're going to apply this over top of the kind of rocky, soily bit. And then after this, I'm going to follow my swamp bases video to finish it off. So if you want to see how to do the rest of the base, you can check it out right there on YouTube. So with the base now complete, our Hobgrot Slittaboss is now finished, and I really like it. I think it's really cool. I think it just adds that kind of filling of the gap for the Kruleboyz, just like the manifestations in the Boss Rock Tower has done for the general Auric War clans. So a bit of a gap filly one for the Auric War clans this year, but maybe soon we'll see some new stuff for them. Next edition maybe. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.